these two things are related and, from a unified standpoint, important things to understand, but there's very different approaches to documenting and understanding these two things. So in our terminology, we talk about the business glossary being functional descriptions, like what is an employee or a customer or a full-time enrollment or something like that, and the functional description of those and the stewardship around all of that. But it's independent of the definition of that, is independent of what systems it's stored in. There are what we call technical definitions as part of your business glossary, which is where you actually say, for this particular definition of a thing called a customer, how do we identify that in system A or system B or system C, multiple technical definitions. But there is, as far as entries in the business glossary, you're only going to have maybe a few hundred entries, or if you are quite enthusiastic, maybe 1,000 or so. But those are, again, these business terms. Now, in the data system inventory side, you're going to be having information about all, like, at a system level, what are all the data systems that we have? Why do they exist? How do you get access to them? All those kinds of just information. And then for each one of those systems is where you want to document the full data model for those systems. And you might have 100,000 objects in that data model for a system, or even more, and of which only a handful apply to something that you're using on a regular basis to report that's in your business glossary. So there's sort of two different worlds, and oftentimes, so and also there's different systems that you, like, solutions for data governance that you might look for. There's some that were born more directly around the technical side, data modeling or data quality or data discovery kind of tools, and they have, oftentimes very robust features around technical documentation of things. And then on the other side, you might have very involved governance, stewardship, glossary kind of documentation and solutions that came out of that side. Now, there's a few companies like IData who have solutions that bring those two things together, where we have a repository for storing information about your data system and the technical details, and we have a repository for information about the business glossary, and those two things can be connected and linked, and there's an overarching set of stewardship and governance across those two things. So it's important to understand what you're looking for here. Another term that's commonly used for the inventory side or the technical side, but can also cross it, is a catalog. So, again, the terminology gets very squishy in governance, and it doesn't matter what your terminology is. It's important, though, that you agree on it, right? That's the sort of governance of governance. It's very meta here, but the we use the term business glossary or data dictionary often to apply to the functional side, and then we use the data system inventory or technical data model information to talk about the technical side of that.